Recently, I watched about 90 anime that I've never seen on this channel. It was amazing. Sure, I lost a social life, but it was worth it. But comparing anime to anime movies is like comparing the 6'7" kid memes to the Kendrick Lamar mustard memes. 6'7" all the way though. I'm on team 6'7". I asked you guys several months ago to send me banger anime movies to watch because the only anime movies I consumed in my lifetime was JJK Zero and like Dragon Ball Super Broly. So I'm a noob. I wanted something new and refreshing, and might I say you guys delivered so hard. I cried to half of these movies and got hyped to the other half, I swear. Anyways, I gave some ground rules in the Discord that many of you do not like to follow for some reason. One recommendation per person, because if I did not add this, then some of you would have sent like 20 different anime, and some of you still did. Number 2, tag me. Number 3, just include the anime title and cover. That was literally it, and somehow I still got people who did not follow the instructions, bro. So now I generally have to throw a spirit bomb at the entirety of the Teferi Fleet Discord server, which you can join with the link in the description. W plug. Anyways, at the end of this video, I will select the best anime movie recommendation and recommender to be in the Teferi Fleet Hall of Fame for eternity. So stay tuned for that. Also, like the video and subscribe because we are so close to 50k. And no, I will not be doing the thug shake for 50k subs. I was joking, bro. Anyways, let's watch these Japanese animation videographies, man. The first anime movie I watched was Your Name, and this is why I don't want to make this video, because why is the first movie already making me cry my eyes out, bro? If you have watched The Silent Voice, you will love this one. It's arguably better depending on who you are as a person. This was like catching up to One Piece for the first time. One moment I'm crying tears of joy, and next moment I'm crying tears of sadness because it's over. Beyond the fact that this movie was absolutely stunning with production quality that made me think some scenes were literally video recorded, this is a slight romance mixed with slice of life that genuinely will make you feel appreciative of how much life you have left to live. Because the characters in this movie pretty much swap bodies every single day, and they realize soon enough that they not only like each other, but they want to see more of each other every single day, only for it to be cut short. Anyways, go watch this movie if you want to cry. Also, this video will be a little different from the other recommendation videos because I'm improving the way I rank these anime, and that's due to this comment right here left on my last video. Instead of giving your recommendations a single 0 out of 10 rating overall, I'll be giving a 0 out of 10 rating in 3 different categories. Then I'll take the average of these 3 for the overall rating. Big brain, I know. The 3 categories I'll be ranking these movies in are as follows. Number 1, visuals and animation. Number 2, story and characters. And number 3, sound and atmosphere. For Your Name in particular, the visuals and animation get a 10 out of 10 easily, no questions asked. The story and characters get a very nice 9 out of 10. I love this cast so much. And for sound and atmosphere, the soundtracks were very sweet, so it's a solid 9 out of 10. And if we take the average of these scores, the overall score will be 9.4 out of 10. Amazing movie. Thanks Gamer for sending this one in. Maquia was the next film I was told to watch, and just look at this art style. It's unique and it was fluid, but at first I'll be honest, I did not like it at all. It looked like the art style of Promised Neverland, but just turned the brain cells down. Okay, I'm gonna stop hating, but it grew on me by the time I finished the movie. Next thing on Maquia was the pacing and the story. I literally almost fell asleep watching this, I'm not gonna lie. At the beginning it was super slow, the middle was pretty slow too, but it started speeding up at the final third of the movie. The story also felt kinda unfinished in some parts, and some parts were just not well elaborated on, like if this race of people could fly or not, or like where they came from, the full extent of their powers. In a short summary, this was almost like a watered down version of Freyrin. The overall message of the movie, however, was very beautiful and I really liked it. It really hooked me near the end. It shows you that family isn't just about blood relations, it's about those who truly care about you even when you're in a state of mind where you don't feel love. Visually speaking, this gets a cool 8 out of 10. For the story and characters, it's a nice 6 out of 10, I can't lie. And for the atmosphere and soundtracks, it was a pretty solid 7. It was pretty soothing. Overall, this is a 7 out of 10 movie. Not bad at all, just paced out. And that's coming from a One Piece fan. Thanks so much Skyz for recommending this. You are a GOAT. The next movie was Demon Slayer Infinity Castle, and this was a beautiful movie, bro. I went to watch this in theaters as soon as it came out with a few of my buddies, and I loved it, man. People were geeking out in the theater as well, so the vibe was great. I'm not a massive Demon Slayer fan, but I'll be honest, I haven't even watched all of it, so one of you should recommend it for the next part of the series. My favorite moment in particular was when Tanjiro made Akaza go back to his past. If you know, you know. I don't want to spoil it, but if you know, you know. Visually, this was 9 out of 10, no doubt. Certain moments were beautiful, bro. For characters and story, obviously, I can't give this less than 9 out of 10 because it kind of comes off of the already good Demon Slayer story. Now for sound and atmosphere, it was dang near a 10 out of 10, but I'll give it 7.5 because the movie theater base most likely carried, I can't lie. Overall, this is an 8.5 out of 10 movie. Super awesome movie. The next anime movie we have is Summer Ghost. This was actually a really short 40-minute film, but it encapsulated so much. I was super surprised. These 3 kids pretty much are all going to die soon, and they want to talk to a rumored ghost girl that only comes around during the summertime. What happens later in this movie truly is touching, because this movie really lets you in on the different mindsets many people around you may have, and you may not notice it day to day. This movie didn't make me cry, but it's definitely an emotional roller coaster. Visually, this movie was 9 out of 10. It was great. This animation style literally looks like a manga moving, bro, I swear. And before you comment, anime is literally just a manga moving, bro, watch the movie first and you'll know what I mean, okay? Story and characters get a 7.5 out of 10. Despite the movie being short, the characters could be very relatable, and the story was pretty simple and straight to the main message. Sound and atmosphere gets a smooth 6 out of 10, but maybe it was the website I was watching it on, but the atmosphere really carries heavy. Overall, this is a 7.5 out of 10 movie. Cool movie. Thank you roupaz for sending this one in. The next movie is called Look Back, and a lot of you sent me this, bro. This was created by the wonderful author of Chainsaw Man, and again, Chainsaw Man is another anime you guys need to recommend me for the next installment of this series, because I have not finished it. But anyways, I really love Tatsuki Fujimoto's art style. It is awesome. Now, Look Back is a story of 2 artists who competed in elementary school making manga, but didn't know each other at all until pretty much their lives got mashed up and they did big things together. The story gets really dark though, really fast, so please be advised. Anyways, visually speaking, this is a 10 out of 10, no questions asked of, bro. Oh my gosh, I enjoyed every second of the animation in this film, and it made sense because this did come out rather recently in 2024. Story and characters, this gets a smooth 8 out of 10 because it is a very short film, and the story also is very short, only because it's based on a one-shot manga. And if you don't know what that is, here's the definition on the screen. It's not that bad, it's just not enough time to make super deep characters. With the time Fujimoto had though, he really did well on Look Back. This was awesome. Sound and atmosphere were really good as well. I was very immersed, so it's a solid 8.5 out of 10. Overall, Look Back is getting a solid 8.8 out of 10. Awesome film. Thank you so much Trogdor for recommending this, and everyone else who sent it in. After watching this one, I really want to see what anime movies you guys think are the best, so even before you finish the video, leave your top 5 anime movies in the comments below. I will read every single one, so I want to see some W top 5s below. Now this next one, Lost in Starlight, was probably the most sci-fi heartbreak I've ever seen in my life, bro. It's like if Interstellar and Your Name had a baby, but the baby has bipolar depression and lived on Mars. The entire movie is basically long distance relationship, Galaxy Edition, and the visuals had me sitting there thinking that NASA should take notes, bro. I was not expecting to get emotional over space mail, but here we are. Here we are, literally. Like the video if you want a Lamborghini, by the way. I know that's off topic, but who doesn't want a Lamborghini? Like the video. Anyways, the story really shows how hard it is to love someone when distance, in this instance literal light years, gets in the way. And man, that ending had me staring at my ceiling like I was waiting for a radio signal back. Visually, this is a clean 9 out of 10. Space never looked this good in anime. Story and characters get a 7.5 out of 10. I like the message a lot, but it did feel slow in the middle, I cannot lie. Sound and atmosphere though, that's an easy 8.5. The space, ambience, and music made it feel very cosmic. I really liked it. Overall, that's an 8.3 out of 10. Big thank you to Still and Aeon for saying this one in. You guys really put me in orbit for that one. That was funny. Smash subscribe if I'm funny, bro. Next up, we got Hello World, and bro, this movie had my brain doing gymnastics, but I loved it. This was Inception, Steins Gate, and let's just say Your Name spliced all together in one big time travel love triangle simulation. I don't know. Half the time I was like, oh wow, this is sweet, and the other half I was like, what timeline are we in right now? It's like if ChatGPT tried to write a love story and accidentally invented quantum heartbreak that travels through lifetime. That might have been the worst analogy I ever did in this whole entire video, I'm not gonna lie. I'll give it some serious props. It really delivered on that futuristic vibe and had some gorgeous visuals. Visually, this is an easy 9.5 out of 10. The movie looks like every frame costs a small country's GDP. Story and characters, I'll give a 7.5 out of 10. It's cool and creative, but low-key confusing at times, I can't lie. My bad, don't boo me, okay? I just had to pause like 3 times just to make sure I was still in the same universe, I swear. Sound and atmosphere gets a clean 8 out of 10. Those electronic tracks fit the movie perfectly. Overall, that's an 8.3 out of 10. Thank you bunloop for sending in this rec. Also, thanks for frying my last brain cell. Alright, so Penguin Highway. This one caught me off guard. I thought it was going to be some fun slice of life animal adventure, but nah. This was science class, philosophy, and a puberty crisis all mixed in one penguin powered fever dream. I was sitting there like, why are these penguins materializing out of thin air? But once you get past the weirdness, it's actually kind of beautiful. It's about curiosity, growing up, and that awkward stage of being smart, but also stupid. The main kid is a literal maniac though. He was out here analyzing crushes like he was studying for the physics final. Anyways, visually, 8 out of 10, very colorful, very unique. Stories and characters, solid 7 out of 10. Interesting concept, but confusing at times. Sound and atmosphere gets a solid 7.5 out of 10. Very calm and charming overall. That brings this to a total of 7.5 out of 10. Thank you Tumbleweed for this one, but I'll never look at penguins the same again, bro. Now weathering with you. This movie was Your Name's younger, more chaotic cousin who skipped school because he wanted to chase a thunderstorm. I don't even know. So I know I'm comparing a lot of these to Your Name, but Your Name literally set the bar so high, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I love that movie. Anyways, this movie is so visually insane that at one point I thought my monitor upgraded mid-watch. I'm not even trolling. It's about this dude who runs away to Tokyo, meets a girl who can literally control the weather, and then proceeds to make the entire city flood because they fell in love. Romantic? I guess so. Dumb? Yes. But I loved every second of it. The emotions, the visuals, the sound, it all hit. I was just mad that bro risked the entire population for one girl, but hey, love makes you do things you thought you never do. I'll do the same thing, honestly. Visually, this is a 10 out of 10. Koto Shinkai does not miss when it comes to animation. Yes, I had to search up who made this. It was that good. Story and characters get an 8 out of 10. It's got that signature heartbreak, but the pacing was really nice. Sound and atmosphere, 8.5 out of 10. Music literally carried my soul into the clouds, bro. I felt like that one scene of yeah, just put it on the screen. I low-key forgot. Overall, this movie gets an 8.8 out of 10. Thank you. I don't know how to pronounce that, bro. What even is this name? I want to eat your pancreas. Wow. Just wow. I generally do not know how to word my emotions for this movie other than wow. If you have not watched this movie, please go watch it after this video, bro. It's the fact that the main characters are so different, yet the author of this movie somehow made it work. And bro makes you cry a billion times before you even reach the point that's supposed to make you cry, bro. That is elite writing for such a small time frame these anime movies typically have. Not only that, this movie was low-key funny too. This specific scene right here is what made me freaking giggle. As soon as he sat down and was talking to him, bro went to the opposite bench to sit down. I don't know, this just had me dying, bro. Like, I really like these main characters. Visually, this was 8 out of 10 for this movie, and that makes sense. It's not like super new, so we'll cut it some slack. Story and characters, in my personal opinion, was a 10 out of 10. I loved it. I loved the message of this movie, and it literally gave me a new perspective on what being alive truly is. Sound and atmosphere was up there, good soundtracks, and placed at the right moment, so it's an easy 8 out of 10. Overall, this was an 8.7 out of 10 movie. Thank you SDG for sending me this one. This was an awesome film. Mononoke. And this movie was different. Not what I expected at the least. Spirited Away was magical and whimsical. Mononoke is straight up what if God of War was an anime movie but with 10 times the environmental message. This movie had forest gods, demon boars, and a literal wolf girl that makes you feel like humanity is actually pretty trash. And honestly, maybe we are. Hey, every single scene looked like it could be framed on a wall or put in like an art museum. It was beautiful. Also, Ashitaka, bro, who's carrying this movie harder than Tanjiro carries Nezuko's box, bro. Usually, this is another 9 out of 10. It's a Studio Ghibli movie. We're going crazy with the animation here. For story and characters, it's a 6.5 out of 10. I'm not gonna lie. It's deep, powerful, but it's you know, it's alright. I like the characters all pretty moderately. Sound and atmosphere, I'll give it a 9 out of 10 because the soundtrack was absolutely god tier. I'm not gonna lie. You can feel every moment in your chest. So overall, that's an 8.2 out of 10. Big thanks to Ankibank for this one. A Girl Who Leapt Through Time. Bro, this movie had me thinking I could time travel after watching it. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I was genuinely about to jump off my bed to see if I could reverse my GPA from dropping, bro. This movie is one of those that starts off goofy and lighthearted and just punches you right in the soul near the end. Perfect. I love when movies do that to me. Yay. It's basically about a girl who accidentally discovers she can leap through time, and instead of using that to save the world or fix humanity, she uses it to avoid being late and dodge awkward confessions. It's kind of relatable. But as it goes on, you realize every choice she makes comes with consequences, and it gets real emotional real fast. Watch it, it's very good. Visually, this gets an 8.5 out of 10. It's the classics 2000 look that hits different. Story and characters, that's a 9 out of 10 as well. Super well written, surprisingly deep. Sound and atmosphere, I'll give it like an 8 out of 10. It fits the nostalgic and emotional tone really well. Overall, this movie gets an 8.5 out of 10. Thank you Azurian, the GOAT, for sending this one in. But now I'm about to be scared of being on time. If you know, you know. Next movie we have is 5 centimeters per second. And yeah, this movie was pain in motion. Actually, this wasn't even a movie. It was a breakup experience with convenient subtitles at the bottom of the screen. Every frame looks like a painting, bro. Every line looks like a poem. Every second hurts a little more than the last. It's basically about two people who fall in love but slowly drift apart, not because of the drama or betrayal. And that's what makes it hurt the most. You just sit there watching this man suffer in HD sadness for an hour straight, bro. Bro's getting cooked by distance, time, time, and emotion. Visually, this is a 10 out of 10. Every shot looks like a desktop wallpaper. It's either 10 out of 10 or I'm just easily impressed, and most of you think I'm easily impressed. Okay, I know. Low-key, I might be. But come on, it's so hard to not appreciate art, bro. I'm literally just a natural born glazer. Story and characters, 8 out of 10. It's slow, but it's real. Sound and atmosphere, 9 out of 10 easily. The music fits the tone of the movie pretty well. Overall, this is a 9 out of 10 movie. Thank you, press, for making me rethink everything. Why is your name like that? That's kind of cool though, but why is it like that? The next movie, One Piece Movie 6, Baron Omatsuri and the Secret Island. A lot of people describe this movie as a One Piece horror film and a cursed One Piece movie. After watching this, I realized that they were exactly correct. First of all, before we even get into this movie, please go watch One Piece if you haven't. Or you probably won't understand this movie all that well, but maybe you can. Secondly, if you watch this movie, you can attest to this. This animation was ahead of its time. Like, this is crazy. I have to know who directed and animated this movie. No glaze. There's no way this was made in 2005. This is beyond impressive. Visually speaking, I'm going to give this a 10 out of 10. The animation made me drool, bro. I'm not gonna lie. This was truly beyond its time, as I said. Story and characters, man, I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10. I'm not gonna lie. The characters are obviously peak. It's the Straw Hats, but the story with the flower guy and stuff, it was low-key mid. I'm not gonna lie. That's how usually it is in One Piece movies. It's just super crazy people who are low-key mentally effed up. Soundtrack and atmosphere is a 7 out of 10. The movie had a complete vibe and was chill mixed with some nightmare feel. Overall score came out to be a solid 7.7 out of 10. Thank you, TuxRug, for this recommendation. This was awesome. Next anime movie is Ride Your Wave, and I'm convinced now that you guys just want me to cry for this entire video. You guys are evil, bro. I was not prepared for this or what it turned into. It all starts fun and romantic. You're like, oh, look at them surfing and vibing, and then halfway through the movie, the ocean just decides it's time to ruin your day. It's a love story that literally teaches you how to move on, but you will not move on from this movie, I swear. When that water scene happened, I was sitting there like ISO speed listening to someone call me ISO meat for the 300 billion time. Visually, this is a 9 out of 10. Super fluid and colorful, pun intended. Story and characters, 8.5 out of 10. The main girl's growth was actually beautiful to watch. Sound and atmosphere is 8 out of 10. The main theme song was stuck in my head, but overall this gets an 8.5 out of 10. Thank you, Simon the Digger, W name, but also Simon the Digger, I'm gonna have to sue you for invoking emotional violence on me. You know, this entire time I have been watching half of these anime movies on a $10 Walmart rolling office chair. Yeah, not so good for the back, trust me. My spine was doing side quests. And since I major in artificial intelligence and physics, I spend an ungodly amount of time at my desk studying. Like, I practically evolved into a desk creature at this point. So when FlexiSpot sent me the Ergo X Pro ergonomic chair, bro, my life changed. I'm not even exaggerating. This thing feels like sitting on a cloud that's smarter than you. It's got this cloud tech cushion that's so plush I low-key forgot what my bed felt like. And it also has the Aero Weave 5.0 mesh that keeps you cool even when you're sweating through a ranked COD match or writing a 10-page essay at 3 a.m. But the real MVP here is the 5D adjustable lumbar support. This thing literally adapts to your posture. I slouch like Luffy after a meal, and somehow this chair is like, nah bro, I got you. And the 4D headrest, not only is it perfect for the neck support, but it doubles as a cozy back cushion. Then there's a 7D linkage armrest, bro. I didn't even know there were that many dimensions of armrests until this chair came in. They move with you whether you're typing, reclining, or gaming like a menace. The backrest has 12 fine-tuned levels of recline, from 90 degrees for focus mode, 115 degrees for chill mode, and 135 degrees for yeah, I'm watching another anime instead of studying mode. And it's built like a tank, reinforced nylon fiberglass frame, lightweight aluminum base, and a class 4 lift that supports up to 551 pounds. That's literally like 4 of me, bro. You can even add an optional footrest, which I definitely recommend because I fell asleep mid-anime marathon in this chair more times than I like to admit. So yeah, huge shout out to FlexiSpot for sponsoring this video and sending me the Ergo X Pro. If you want to upgrade your setup and save your spine from lifelong trauma, check the link in the description. Get yourself a real chair because watching anime in comfort should be a human right. Now this next movie is Initial D Legend, and bro, this movie had me ready to drift my Honda Civic down a mountain. If you guys didn't know, I'm a huge car guy. Yes, this is a video that I made on my second channel of me changing my oil on my 350Z. My car friends have been telling me to watch this movie because I literally own a well-known JDM drift car, so I was bound to like it. So this was amazing to watch. The way they animated those cars made me feel like I could smell the tire smoke through the screen, bro. Every scene was pure adrenaline. I was gripping my desk like I was behind the wheel. Takumi was casually drifting like he was on a morning jog. I didn't even blink once the entire race. Honestly speaking, this gets a solid 7 out of 10 because even for a racing anime, they somehow made the CGI and traditional animation work perfectly together. Story and characters, I'll give a 7 out of 10. It's simple and it does what it needs to do. Fast cars, rivalries, and zero nonsense. Sound and atmosphere, it's a 10 out of 10. I'm not gonna lie. The engine revs, tire squeals, Eurobeat blasting, perfection, bro. Overall, Initial D Legend gets an 8 out of 10. Thank you, Ren, for sending this one in, and thank you for reigniting my need for speed. Smash like if that was funny, or if it was unfunny, you know? Some of you might have differing opinions. Alright, next up is Spirited Away, aka you thought you were just going on a family trip, but actually you signed up to work in a spirit bathhouse with a giant stink monster and a baby the size of a Honda Civic. Anyways, this film was actually beautiful, but also had me questioning what Studio Ghibli was cooking at certain points. Like, why is No Face pulling up acting like he's about to buy the whole block and then starts eating people like they're samples at Costco? But beneath the weirdness, this movie is like magical pretty much. The visuals were ahead of its time and the sound design makes you feel like you're really there cleaning the world's dirtiest spirit. But even so, I'm not gonna lie, we had to stop the overglaze on Studio Ghibli. This movie was good, but bro, guys, chill. Visually, this is an easy 10 out of 10. I don't think anyone's debating that. Story and characters, this is a nice 8 out of 10 too. It's a little trippy, but the growth of Chihiro throughout the film was super wholesome. Sound and atmosphere is another 9 out of 10. Ghibli soundtracks just hit different, bro. That makes the overall score a 9 out of 10. Thank you AgameCube for this banger wreck in this classic. Next up is Paprika, and all I can say is, what was I watching, bro? This movie is what happens when your dream takes edibles and starts breakdancing in 4K. I was so confused, but also I was completely mesmerized. The visuals were absolutely insane, I'm not gonna lie. This movie walks so Inception can run. Okay, I'm joking. It's one of those movies where you think you understand what's happening, and 5 minutes later, you don't. Visually, it's an 11 out of 10. Like, generally, the color transitions, the fluidity are next level. For story and characters, I'll give it like a solid 7 out of 10, because you might need a degree in psychology to fully understand what's going on, but once it clicks, it's genius. Sound and atmosphere gets a solid 8 out of 10. The music and pacing just melt in your brain in the best way. Overall, Paprika gets an 8.3 out of 10. Dali, thank you for this one. I'm gonna need therapy and a nap after it though. Now let's talk about Grave of the Fireflies. Why are these movies so sad, bro? I just want to let you guys know, getting through this video was not easy at all. This isn't just a cry little sad, like this is a sit in silence and rethink existence type sad. It's about 2 kids trying to survive in Japan during World War II. And bro, I'm not gonna lie, halfway through I had to pause and just walk outside. The movie doesn't even try to make you feel better. It just shows you how cruel life can really be, and it does it perfectly. This isn't entertainment, it's trauma beautifully animated, and I love it. Visually, it's a 9 out of 10. Classic Ghibli quality with a realistic undertone. Story and characters, 10 out of 10. Some of the best emotional storytelling ever made, I'm not gonna lie. And that might be the first 10 out of 10 in this category since this video started, so that says a lot. Sound and atmosphere, 7 out of 10. Every moment feels heavy and grounded. Overall, this movie is a 8.6 out of 10. Thank you, Kloudy, for sending this one in and ruining my night and making me a sad little sloth. Howls Moving Castle. Now, the amount of glaze this movie receives has to be studied, bro. My sister loves this movie and would always tell me about it, so I'm kind of familiar. But I can't lie, when I really immersed myself, this movie had me feeling like I was in a dream, bro. And I didn't want to wake up. The castle literally looks like a junkyard transformer, but somehow cozy. The animation is next level, and the story had that perfect mix of fantasy and weird Ghibli nonsense that still works. Also, Hal might be the prettiest man alive. I'm just saying. Sophie was great too. The whole aging spell plot actually hit deep when you think about how self-image changes over time. Can't lie, can see how some may find this Ghibli movie kinda boring. Visually, this was 9 out of 10 though. It's Ghibli, you know. Stories and characters, 7 out of 10. Weird at times, but still super touching. Sound and atmosphere is a 10 out of 10. The soundtrack alone deserves a Grammy. Overall, this is an 8.6 out of 10. Thank you, Axeman, for sending this one in. Perfect Blue, bro. This movie had me questioning reality. This was psychological horror at its peak. The tension in this movie was unreal, bro. Like you're watching someone slowly lose their mind and you're losing it right there with it. It deals with fame, pressure, and the scary side of obsession, and it still feels relevant decades later. I finished it and immediately checked if my reflection was moving differently. Visually, this is an 8 out of 10. Classic 90s art that fits the tone pretty well. No complaints. Story and characters, 10 out of 10. Not gonna lie. Absolutely phenomenal writing. Sound and atmosphere though, it's a 6.5 out of 10. It's haunting, but it's, you know what I mean, it's cool. Overall, this gets an 8.1 out of 10. Thank you, Hems193, for the recommendation. Now, this double feature was crazy. To Every You I've Loved Before and To Me, The One Who Loved You are 2 movies that tell the same story from different universes. It's like watching One Piece and okay, I'm joking. Let me stop. That's my last One Piece reference for this video, I promise. I know some One Piece hater out there is gritting their teeth and banging their head on a wall. Okay, I'm done. Anyways, depending on which one you watch first, the story totally hits different. Like one's a love story and the other one's just a tragedy. And together, they're just a pain in stereo. It's such a creative way to tell a multiversal romance, and I respect the ambition so much. Visually, both movies get a solid 8 out of 10. Super clean and expressive. Stories and characters, 8.5 out of 10. Amazing concept, I can't even lie, but it can get confusing if you're not paying attention, so pay attention. Sound and atmosphere, 7 out of 10. Great balance of soft piano and emotional beats. Overall, the combo gets a 7.8 out of 10. Thank you, Akhil, for sending this one in. My Neighbor Totoro. This movie is peak comfort, and I get it now why people call this just a classic. It's not about the plot twist or deep lore, it's literally just about the vibes, childhood, and big fluffy forest creatures that everyone wants to hug. I want to hug it. The movie is so calm that I think my blood pressure literally dropped just while watching it. This is one of those movies you can't even be mad at, it's just happiness in motion. Visually, this is a 9 out of 10. Everything feels warm and nostalgic. Stories and characters, 6.5 out of 10. Super simple, but it's heartfelt, you know? Sound and atmosphere gets a 9 out of 10, not gonna lie. The Totoro theme is legendary. Overall, it's an 8.1 out of 10 movie. Thank you, Sloth Man. I am now officially a Totoro fan. Next movie is actually one that I kinda didn't understand. It's No Game, No Life Zero, and this movie is what happens when anime decides to stop being goofy and go full biblical. I'll be honest though, as I said, I never watched the original series, so I was lost on a lot of things. Bro, I was not ready for an existential war about love between humans and robot girl. Visually speaking though, it's literal eye candy, so that'll definitely get it some points. It's a 9.5 out of 10. The color palette was literally beautiful. Story and characters is a 6 out of 10. I kinda don't know what's going on, but I know it's deep. I just need to watch the show first. Sound and atmosphere is an easy 7 out of 10. Epic soundtracks that fit perfectly. Overall, that's a 7.5 out of 10. Thank you, Hypixee, for this masterpiece. I have ascended to the RGB heavens. Finally, we got to this movie that I wanted to watch for so long, RedLine. Oh my goodness. This movie is literally what happens when an artist says, what if we just animated speed itself? Yeah, that's a good idea. This entire film is a non-stop explosion of color, chaos, and pure adrenaline, bro. It's like Initial D and Mad Max did a fusion dance, bro, and they drink Monster Energy for 3 days straight. The animation is so crispy that it makes modern CGI look like a PowerPoint presentation. And now I finally know where this clip is from. I see it on my For You page all the time, and I thought it was so cool and cute. Visually, this is a 10 out of 10, no question. It's all hand drawn and took 7 years to make, and every frame looks like it could be a desktop wallpaper. It's peak. Story and characters, 7 out of 10. It's not super deep, but that's not the point. The point is speed. Sound and atmosphere, easy 9 out of 10. The soundtrack goes stupid hard and matches the chaos perfectly. Overall, RedLine gets an 8.7 out of 10. Thank you, AbestosDust, that's an amazing name, for recommending this masterpiece. This movie had my heartbeat racing like I owed someone money. The next movie we have here is, as most of you guessed, A Silent Voice. Now, I watched this movie in my last anime recommendation video. I would be doing anime movies a disservice if I did not put it inside this video, because many of you probably want to know what I think about this movie. Besides the fact that it made me feel emotions I've never felt in my body before, the story, message, and animation and soundtrack was top tier. Most anime enjoyers that you ask will probably have this as their favorite anime movie, and it comes with good reason. The message that your life and perception of yourself is all in your mind is very true. No one else can damage you as much as you can damage yourself when you really think about it, and I feel like that movie does that so well and portrays that message beautifully. Now, visually, this movie gets a cool 10 out of 10. Amazing production. I feel like everyone who watched this movie can vouch for me. Story and characters are easy 9.5 out of 10. The soundtrack gets also cool 9 out of 10 pretty easily. Overall, the average score is a 9.5 out of 10 movie. This movie won't be contestant for the Hall of Fame because I already watched it, but thank you, gdizz, for this recommendation. Child of Kamari Month. This movie is criminally underrated. I've never heard this before. It's like a Ghibli inspired adventure, but with a fresh modern tone. The visuals were gorgeous, the world feels alive, and the story has a bittersweet energy that just sneaks up on. It's about appreciating small moments, finding connection, and moving on. And I didn't expect it to hit this hard, but it did. Visually, it's a 9 out of 10. Super vibrant, and it's like dreamlike. Stories and characters are 7 out of 10. Emotional and heartfelt, but nothing crazy. Sound and atmosphere is a cool 8 out of 10. Soundtrack carried the emotions very well. Overall, this gets an 8 out of 10. Thank you, Gone Gambling. Hopefully you have not actually gone gambling. Joe's the Tiger and the Fish. And this was a beautiful movie, bro. I didn't expect to like it as much as I did, but it's about a girl in a wheelchair and a guy who helps her chase her dream. And it's honestly one of the most wholesome romances I've seen in a while, bro. Chemistry felt real. The animation was soft and expressive, and the message was about independence. It's emotional in the best way possible. Usually this gets a 9 out of 10. Super well animated and colorful. Stories and characters also get a 9 out of 10. Amazing dynamic and growth. Probably in the top like 3 romance movies I've watched. Sound and atmosphere, 8.5 out of 10. Great balance between calm and emotional moments. Overall, this is an 8.8 out of 10. Thank you, Blue Stretcher guy. I swear I'm not crying, okay? There's just Naruto animation in my eyes. Okay, I'm playing. Naruto fans, calm down. Put the Rasengan down, little bro. Second to the last movie, we have Promare. This movie was straight fire, bro. Literally. Bro, this was 2 hours of pure chaos, explosions, colors, and testosterone. It's like Gurren Lagann, Power Rangers, and a rave had a baby. Sorry if that analogy was weak. I'm not gonna lie, I'm running out of analogies if you haven't noticed. You don't watch Promare for the logic, you watch it for the vibes and adrenaline. The animation is insane, the action scenes were ridiculous in the best way, and the characters yell 90% of the time like they're DJ Khaled. Visually, this is 11 out of 10. No exaggeration, 11 out of 10. Story and characters, 7.5 out of 10. It's fun, but nonsense in the best way, okay? Sound and atmosphere gets a 9.5 out of 10. Soundtrack had me punch in the air like I was in the movie. Overall, this is a 9 out of 10. Curatorial, this movie has melted my eyes and I loved every second of it. And finally, the last anime movie, which might not be an anime movie, but whatever. Kpop Demon Hunters. This one is for the girls out there, okay? Period. I heavily enjoyed this movie, no joke. I didn't even know what I was getting into with this one, bro. I thought it was gonna be some goofy pop idol thing, but nah. These girls were out there throwing hands with demons while serving outfits. This movie is pure chaos in the most fabulous way possible. It's like if Jujutsu Kaisen and Blackpink had a crossover episode directed by Michael Bay. I was sitting there like, why is this movie actually low-key fire? I'm not gonna lie. Like, am I one of the girlies? The fight choreography was crazy and the music had me low-key vibing the entire time. Visually, this is 9 out of 10. Flashy, stylish, over the top. I love it. Story and characters get a 7 out of 10. Fun but kind of predictable. Sound and atmosphere though, 10 out of 10. This soundtrack was literally awesome. One of the songs in this movie actually went viral on the internet, so you know, that say something. Overall, this movie is an 8.6 out of 10. Thank you, someone helped me change my name. I think it's time to end the video on that one, bro. Why is your name that? I am so grateful for any of you who sent something in the Discord server for me to watch in this video. And yes, the next video in the recommendation series will be manga recommendations. So send me some in the comments below and the Discord because I still need to select some more. Anyways, I hope you guys know that in my next video, I will literally be programming an entire anime game in 7 days just to prove Bandai is overrated. So if you want to see me suffer and make more nerd videos like this one, subscribe so you can hit the big 50K. Anyways, I love you guys. See you later, alligator.